Please welcome, making his way to the blue corner, Garrett Mueller.
And here we have Garrett Mueller. He's fighting out of Mueller MMA and boxing, means he's probably training himself out of, I'm not sure where he's from, somewhere in Missouri.
I believe he's out of Jeff City.
Jeff City. His fighting style is freestyle. He says his keys to victory in this is going to be sticking to the basics and cardio. You said you have a little bit of history about him. From what I've known, he's pretty tough. Like, he's been in fights where there's been a lot of damage back and forth, and he's always been able to hang in there.
Yeah, he's a gritty dude, and that used to be, I'm not sure if it still is, it used to be his nickname, Gritty Garrett Mueller, and it's true. You know, he's a tough guy. He's a hard, grimy roll, and he's not going to take no for an answer. So he's going to come forward whether, you know, he's going to sleep, he's knocking someone out, choking someone out, he's bringing the pace.
And he's been fighting in mid-state Missouri and also out in Kansas City as well. He's run into guys like Devin Weber and Darren Carlos out there in Kansas City. I mean, those guys are pretty solid as well. And, you know, he's got a fight against Garrett Gross from 2017 as well. He's run into some tough competition too.
Yeah, he's not had a soda can schedule, that's for sure.
And now his opponent making his way to the cage, Jamese Taylor.
And here we have Jamese. Jamese will have the height and range advantage here at 6'1". This fight was moved to a catch weight of 160, and he wants to stay long but dictate where the fight takes place, meaning on the feet, pick them apart. And I wouldn't be surprised if Jamese finds a timing here for a takedown of his own. He trains out of Wolves Den. I train with Jamese. He's in the sparring room too as well, and his wrestling has improved. His movement is very good. He's hard to hit clean, like I said, but if you're going to try and time and hit kicks with him, you're not going to hit him clean. You got to bring a dogfight to a guy like Jamese, and that's what Garrett Mueller's going to look to do. He does do specific work with St. Louis Boxing and Reggie Thomas. A lot of people in St. Louis have been working with him and having good success, especially with volume and combos and striking to the body and head movement. And I think we're going to have a stylistic matchup here.
Yeah, this is one of them fights here where, you know, if the guys stick to their game plan, and they might have to deal with some adversity early, but if they can stick that game plan out, whoever it may be, they're going to come out with, you know, the victory. I think this is definitely a game plan fight to win here.
I think we'll learn a lot about how this fight will go in the first round and probably in the first 2 minutes.
Yes. And although Garrett is, you know, at a jiu-jitsu school now, I believe he's at one of the Gracie Barra schools up in Jeff City, and he's been spending a lot of time in gi now. But don't get it wrong, he's going to come out and bang. He's only going to go to the ground if he has to.
And Jamese enters the cage.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is now time for the main event of the evening. This fight is scheduled for 3 5-minute rounds in the NFA Professional Catchweight at 160 pounds, brought to you tonight by Domino's Pizza. And now, for all those watching around the world tonight on NemesisFightingAlliance.com, and for those here in Farmington, Missouri, are you ready for war? Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. This freestyle fighter stands 5'9", weighing in 160 pounds. He holds a professional record 4 wins, 7 defeats. Representing Gracie Barra and fighting out of Jefferson City, Missouri, Garrett Mueller. His opponent across the NFA cage, fighting out of the red corner, is a freestyle fighter standing 6'1", weighing in 159.5 pounds. He holds the 0-2 professional record representing Wolves Den MMA and fighting out of St. Charles, Missouri, Jamese Taylor. Your referee in charge of the action, Zach Tybris.
All right, gentlemen, we're going to roll from back. Got any questions? Touch it up. Come on, ready to fight.
I would not be surprised to see Jamese attack the body here too on him. Usually guys that can take a lot of punishment in the head, you know, they're gritty, they'll move forward. The body is the key to slowing them down. Touch of gloves and we're off. Good jab there.
Long jab, using his range well early here. You can definitely tell the difference between when the pros get in the cage and from even the higher level AMMYs.
Yeah, it's definitely a softer entrance into it. They're more calculated.
Jamese is cutting him off here.
So right now, Garrett's kind of letting him dictate the range in Taylor. So right now, Jamese is comfortable, but what we got to watch for is Garrett to try and explode in here, try and land something over the top like an overhand and grab the legs.
That's what it looks like he's setting up to do. Like he's about to enter a takedown. He's just getting Jamese's timing and range down here.
Yeah, nice movement. Slipped it and moved.
Mueller can't find the range. Jamese is doing a great job with his timing and distance.
See, and if you know someone's trying to take you down, I always find taking center ring best because taking someone out in the open is a lot harder. I mean, there's trips. I mean, you can get it on a single leg, but I like using the bounce of the cage to lift. And if you got them backing up, it's a lot harder to take down because they have to come that distance to cover, especially the long guy like Jamese. He could just lift a knee,
Yeah.
and you can run right into it, especially if they're switching stances because you don't want to run into that rear knee. If you shoot your head to the side of the rear knee, all they got to do is lift it, and then bad things will happen to you.
And the cage is another tool. You know, you can get someone's back on the cage. It's a weapon for takedowns.
And Jamese goes to the head with that head kick after chopping low a few times.
Good long jab. Oh, that one caught him.
Nice.
Oh, that left hook.
Oh, he's got to be
on the
careful.
takedown
Oh,
here. And he gets the
Gets
takedown,
up.
but
there you go. He's piling on him. That knee.
Mueller's
Nice work by Jamese there.
needs to get. Jamese kind of backed off. I don't think he thought he was ready to go yet. I think he's still hurt here, though.
It's hard to know how much abuse these guys can take sometimes. There he goes. Drops him with the right. He's got him hurt. Oh, good job by Jamese here. Puts away a tough guy, too.
Jamese looked good using his range and distance and put the gas pedal on when he needed to.
What was the punch that started all that? Was it the right cross?
I believe so. I think he hit him right here on the cage side here, and Mueller shot in for that single leg, and Jamese did a great job getting back to his feet.
Jamese did a really good job of space there, not getting cornered against the fence. Moving. There was a couple times there where Garrett was looking to pressure him, and he just slipped right out.
And what I really like seeing at the end there, when Jamese had him hurt, he didn't go in for the kill right away. He knew Garrett was probably going to level change and fit in for a takedown, and he used his distance to really put him away there, and it was very good to see that from him. And cool to see that Jamese got in the win column here as a pro.
Yes, I completely agree. That part's always really interesting when you hurt someone in the cage like that because what's coming at you, it could be this Hail Mary overhand hook. And a guy like that, you don't want to unload your tank trying to take him out because he could be like Homer Simpson and just take the beating and then you kind of gas yourself out and then all of a sudden he's back in the fight. But Jamese showed experience and poise there, and he was clean. I don't think he really got hit much by anything.
I don't think he absorbed very many punches, any damage really, maybe a couple leg kicks here, a couple light jabs, but he did what you're supposed to do, man. Got in and got out.
By knockout, Jamese